But if you're a fan of the Chiefs, if you're a fan of the Ravens, magnificent. If you're a fan of NBA basketball and LeBron James, maybe even better, because it was the line that captured the entire sports day yesterday when LeBron James, after the win over the Golden State Warriors, had this to say to Lisa Salters on ABC.
I love the NFL, but Christmas is our day.
Christmas is our day. Now, you can say that when one game ended 31-2. That tends to happen, and the other one 29-10. But LeBron James taking a stand, Monty, that, gosh darn it, Christmas Day belongs to the association.
Listen, I don't agree with LeBron a lot, but I will say that I agree with him. On Christmas, there is so much going on that it is a lot easier for you to just put on the NBA all day in the background and not worry about it. I was here at work, as you mentioned, and Netflix gave me such a hard time with the streaming all day. Annoying. Yes, I got to see Beyonce. That was a nice little plus. But football, you can't just have it on in the background and pretend to watch certain plays here and there. You actually want to sit and watch it. So that's why I agree with him. I don't think the NFL needs to play on Christmas Day. I really don't. I think just the NBA is enough. If you're at a gathering, you have it on in the background, it's a close game between the Lakers and the Warriors, 1 minute left, everyone's going to tune in. You put on a football game, people are going to want to sit and watch it, which is what we have on Thanksgiving. It is expected on Thanksgiving. And I, as a woman, I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't do any of that. But, like, women know, hey, we're going to have all these men come over, we're going to cook, and they're going to sit and they're going to watch. And I'm going to be with the men. So it's different. It is different. I agree with LeBron.
Harrison Butker has just turned off his radio. He heard
did.
that. He did not like that at all. Was not a fan at all, Monty.
What are you talking about? Isn't that what he wants?
What's that?
Isn't that what he thinks, right? Women should just stay in the kitchen?
Yeah, but you aren't.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not. I'm
listening
sorry,
to us
Harrison
anymore.
Butker. Yeah, I don't know. I don't cook. I don't clean. I'm very useless when it comes to that.
I have an appreciation for the holidays.
Yeah.
It's not the appreciation of what sports fits better. I think what you said is very true. It's much easier to follow an NBA game when there is so much going on at Christmas. I feel like Thanksgiving is just set up for the meal and then the aftermath, or the pre-meal, meal, aftermath. So to your point, football is fits into that window. Plus, there's so much tradition with it. Not that there isn't tradition with the NBA, but I just feel that there is more with the Lions and Cowboys and what the NFL has provided in those windows. The NBA, I have said 100 times here, growing up, was never on the radar back in the Midwest when I remember Christmas. The relatives did not have it on TV. They did not have those games on in the living room when people were chatting in the dining room or the kitchen and getting the meal ready. None of that happened. It was only until I moved out to Southern California where the Lakers played in it where it became a bigger deal. And this is where I think it's interesting because LeBron always tries to pick his spots. And again, what better spot when the NBA has had great games, when Victor Wembanyama had a 40-pointer at the Garden.
42, 18 rebounds, 4 blocks.
Yes. What better time when Austin Reeves just staved off a Steph Curry flurry in San Francisco, and the LeBron and the Lakers get their victory. What better way when Anthony Edwards and crew go to Dallas, even without Luka Doncic in uniform, still a good game. What better day to then stake your claim when you have a game that's 31-2 and one that's 29-10 in what we thought were 4 of the better teams in the National Football League.
That Dallas game against Minnesota, they lost Luka Doncic early on to a calf injury. And at one point, Minnesota was up by 30. All of a sudden, Kyrie's like, no, I want to play. I decided I want to play. They brought it within 3. It was all day. All day the NBA was providing you exciting moments.
This game.
Yeah.
And I don't think that LeBron was necessarily wrong with it, but you want to know what's wrong with his comments for that day. But you want to know why I think that yesterday was so great for the NBA? Because the players actually cared.
Yeah.
And we talk about this conversation throughout the first 2 months of the season of why is the NBA such a turnoff? Is it all the threes? Is it the way that the game is played? You had 5 games that were put in marquee windows and in some shape or form were competitive at the end. In terms of what the Knicks and Spurs did to have Steph in the comeback, and you mentioned the comeback of Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
You had these games in marquee spots. Sixers go to Boston and knock off the Celtics as Joel Embiid's running into security people on three-point shots. You had all of that. But there was a sense of urgency. There was a sense of spotlight with the NBA. And I actually think the NBA told on itself yesterday. And so while LeBron was right in that moment that yesterday, December 25th, 2024, the NBA had it over the NFL, it does not on the big picture. And in fact, told on the NBA that what have you been doing for the first 2 months? The only team that I think cared about the NBA Cup was the team that actually won the NBA Cup in the Milwaukee Bucks. And this is the problem with it. And this is why LeBron's thinking he's getting one over and taking it to the NBA. And this is my league. This is my showtime and the whole deal. No, what you did is you just told us that when you put all these teams in this slate in this game where the NBA viewing starts for a lot of people on Christmas Day, that now you're going to try. And I think it just completely negated what we saw in the last 2 months and solidified what we thought is wrong with the NBA is, yeah, maybe it's not there every single night. But do you think it's a coincidence that we had 10 teams going tooth and nail, going back and forth, or, having these competitive games at the end? Like, it's not a coincidence. It's they were on Christmas Day, they were on national TV, and they felt it was a spotlight, and that's why you got the good basketball, LeBron, not because the NBA is better than the NFL.
You're not wrong, Dan. The bigger picture here is that you did tell on yourself. I didn't even think of that. How when you actually try, you can put on a good product, but he is missing the big point. And I agree with just like what we said. On Christmas Day, I would prefer to just have NBA and not worry about the NFL. But after the game, there's a video that you can see on social media where he's asked by a reporter, what is still great in the NBA? And he says, Bron and Steph. Bron, that is the problem. Why didn't you mention Victor Wembanyama?
Yeah.
Why did you not mention Anthony Edwards? You should be passing your torch and wanting to leave the NBA in a better place than when you got there, and you're not. It's this whole idea that you only care about yourself. You keep adding to it. Your answer was Bron and Steph, and he smiled.
I am trying to figure out what that angle is, because there seems to be a LeBron hitching his wagon to Steph a little bit.
Of course, yes, he's literally telling us, I want to play with Steph. Send me to Golden State.
And is that it? Is that what?
I do not see Steph leaving the Warriors.
Okay.
Right? So that's why I say he goes to Golden State.
Now that the Bronny James pick has been done and he's been a Lake, now he can look for somewhere else to go and play. I think that very well could be. I was looking at it as a legacy sort of thing. Like, does it help LeBron's legacy?
Absolutely not.
To attach himself to a good guy like Steph Curry?
No, it doesn't help him. And it also doesn't help Steph's legacy. Like, let's say they team up with Draymond and they win again. It's like this. None of you gets, to me, that much credit for it. You all teamed up. It's not. I think LeBron wants another ring for himself. But if he gets another one, it's going to be way watered down. You didn't win it. You went and grabbed it with other stars. But I do think he wants another one for his argument. How many does he have? 5?
He's got 4.
4? 5? 4?
Yeah.
And Steph has 5.
Steph's got 4.
So they're tied.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Am I right? Because it's 2 with the Heat, 1 with the Cavs, and 1 with the Lakers.
That's right.
So that's what it is.
That's what it is. He just wants to get one more.
I get that. And this is why I'm fumbling and stumbling over it. Because I think LeBron overthinks stuff so much. And I don't know, like, you know what popped into my head? It was that you have this Magic Bird duo, like, combo.
I thought you like a Magic Bird. You mean Magic and Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yes.
I was like, there's a Magic Bird that flies in. I'm sorry. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You have this Magic Johnson, Larry Bird partnering through the 80s and 90s where they are attached at the hip. And through college, through the NBA and the whole deal. Michael Jordan never had that.
Mm-mm.
There wasn't a Jordan and blank because Jordan was better than everyone.
Jordan.
And I actually think that LeBron has that right now. But my thinking was, is LeBron like trying to attach himself to Curry to kind of have this sort of, I don't know, friendly rivalry? It was just really weird. Like, your point makes sense that, hey, let's team up and play, because we even saw LeBron in the pregame of the Golden State game run out and block or try to block Steph's shot.
Yeah, they're BFFs all of a sudden.
Yeah, but this is new. This hasn't been like this.
It hasn't, but LeBron has hinted at this for the last couple of years. Don't you remember? They're like, who would you want to play with? And he said, Steph Curry. He has said this before. I mean, he's been around for so long that it's just like, breaking up his 20 years.
Yeah, your angle may be quite on point and maybe obvious. And I just was looking at it from another way of how is he trying to boost himself up, just like he took the advantage to try to boost the NBA up against the NFL. By the way, not to change from LeBron, but the NFL, I think, has learned a good lesson with the games that they played. Is no matter how good the teams are, we talked about this the other day, Christmas will be on a Thursday next year, so you're not going to have to worry about the jam schedule that you just put those 4 teams in. But I would think that this jam schedule that the Steelers, Ravens, Houston, and the Chiefs had to deal with was not great. And it really showed the effect on the teams that aren't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, while it didn't affect the Chiefs and Ravens and they got wins and they were able to roll in both of those games, you sit there and you look at it and you say, all right, to what expense? You really had a bad product on the field in Week 17. Kansas City Chiefs have now wrapped up home field advantage, which has taken some of the drama out of the next 2 weeks. I do think the NFL would second guess on how they put those teams on a short week because of the product that we got yesterday.
I don't know what the answer is to that, though, because football is so...
ball hogging?
Not ball hogging. It's
selfish?
It's huge. Yeah, all of those things.
All
but
about
what I'm
themselves?
trying to say is football
Dominating?
is unexpected. What we think in week 1 is not the situation in week 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, like, when they put the schedule together, they're predicting that this is going to be a good matchup. And that's really hard to do for the NFL.
I think that, yeah, it is. It is. You're right about that. But I think that they struck something and they were pretty safe to know that Kansas City and Houston would be pretty good and that you should have whenever the Steelers and Ravens play, and then you mix those teams up in a certain way. But it's just the effect that it had on, I know the Steelers-Chiefs game was, I guess it was close on the scoreboard for 3 quarters.
But it wasn't.
No, it didn't seem like that. And when Houston puts up a deuce, I mean,
a deuce.
They dropped a deuce. Let's be honest, on Christmas Day.
They really did.